Fortunately now, it's someone else's turn.
Right, thank you, Terry. Thank you for the toast. Good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, today is a special day. It's the 7th of the 8th, 09. And Terry's already stolen my thunder by wishing my parents a happy birthday. But he didn't mention that this year was also Stephanie and Terry's golden wedding anniversary. So can you all join me in congratulating them for that? And also, so that they don't feel left out, Russell and Bryony, I believe, celebrated their anniversary yesterday.
We did.
How many was that?
4 years.
4 years. Okay, so another round of applause. So you think that the 7th of the 8th, 09 would be an easy date to remember, but Jenny insisted on having the date engraved on the wedding rings. To my surprise, it was put on the inside, and so perhaps wouldn't be so visible to me. But perhaps that's why she failed to invest in the special glue that the jewellers sells just for male wedding rings. So Jenny and I have been together for 4.5 years, and I really am so happy to have her as my wife, and I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with her. Perhaps I should share with you perhaps the most shocking moment in our relationship was when Jenny first cooked dinner for me. Don't get me wrong, she is a good cook, but I was quite confused by the absence of meat. It was only later that I discovered that she's a vegetarian. And when I realised, Jenny actually gave me that look of, are you going to dump me? But as I'm sure you're aware, Jenny is a keen and committed nurse. And when we started going out, she had a small chart on her bedroom wall. I won't go into too much detail about what it was, but it had several pictures on it. These things were graded from type 1 to type 7. And the description for type 3 was like a sausage but with cracks on its surface. And one of the other problems of spending time with a nurse is their influence on your TV viewing. More specifically, what they can tolerate watching over dinner. Also, Jenny's recently been getting into Casualty 1909, and this is a sort of soap based on a hospital in the 1900s. And she informed me that nursing used to be a profession for single women, and when they got married, they had to resign their job and become a housewife. But I'm pleased to report that I'm a modern man, we're a modern couple. And Jenny will be going straight back to work after the honeymoon. So before I wrote the speech, Jenny's advice to me was that I had to be nice to her. And I'm sorry about that, darling, but really it's not difficult to be nice about Jenny. She is really one of the nicest, most dependable, perhaps most determined people I know, but she's absolutely lovely. And she looks gorgeous today. She's been a lot calmer, perhaps, than I have been over the last few months. And she really does deserve a medal for the amount of effort she's put into planning this day. Many of you won't know that Jenny took a year out after finishing her A-levels. And she spent much of her time in South Africa working with children affected by AIDS, and she really loves working with children, and although some of the times on the ward are pretty tough, I hope that I'll be able to support her as much as I can over the next rest of our life. So I said that Jenny spent her gap year in Africa. She spent some of her time undertaking dangerous activities such as bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, etc. I had the job of looking after our honeymoon and left the Lonely Planet guide to New Zealand lying around, and the first thing Jenny spotted was skydiving in Taupo. She was basically an adrenaline junkie, but in the past she's always had the policy of informing her grandparents after the event. I'm afraid I don't share this policy, so get your diary out. It's a 15,000-foot parachute jump, and it's probably going to happen on the 18th of August. And, Yeah, my mum and dad contributed towards the honeymoon things as well, so they probably helped pay for it. So I proposed to Jenny while I was on my first conference in Victoria in Canada, and that explains why you've got maple candy in your favours. So the university paid for my flight and the hotel, so we just had to pay for Jenny's flight. So I think that was both romantic and thrifty. I do kind of regret telling Jenny that she replied to my proposal too quickly. I'd have preferred it if she waited a couple of seconds, I said to her. It was really good that she was so keen to answer instantly. Anyway, my speech wouldn't be complete without thanking the people who've contributed to today. So I really need to thank Stephanie and Terry for their generous contribution to today, and Stephanie for producing the Flower Girls outfits. I would also like to thank Mark and Sue Guilfrin for a very generous contribution to our honeymoon, and also Nana and Rod. I'd like to thank Julie for for various creations she's made. She also wrote the place cards and has contributed a hell of a lot to today's event, so thank you very much, Julie. Jenny made the table centerpieces, so we decided to go with cacti because they're quite hardy and we have quite a bad reputation with keeping plants, but we still managed to kill 3 before today. So I'd also like to thank Andrew and Alex from the Burley Manor and the rest of their team, and Pat the pianist, who's done an excellent job this afternoon. I'd like to thank my ushers and of course my best man, Jeff, who's very nervous now, but he's been typically organised and unflappable up to now. So he really has done an excellent job. And I would also like to thank the Flower Girls and Bridesmaids. They all look absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for doing such a brilliant job today. And I'd like all of you to join me in a toast to the bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
The bridesmaids.
Yourself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So to start with some few thank yous. First of all, I'll follow